believe Jeff cannot turn on his camera, right, Jeff?
That's correct. You're able to hear me?
I am. Yes, we are able to hear you.
That's
So,
right.
we know you're right. So yeah,
Well,
the
yeah,
stage is yours.
they don't. Nobody wants to look at each other at the Boeing company, so they don't give us cameras. There is a picture of my face. It's a few years old there, so just imagine that moving and add 10 years to it, and that's close enough. So my name is Jeff Duce. I work in Boeing Research and Technology. It's one of several R&D development arms of the Boeing company. I'm going to very briefly talk about who we are as a company and why we're interested in this technology space. Anything that I mention here today, because of the nature of this, the audience and being open to everybody, I have to be very high level, and I'm not going to be able to be very technical. And so if I'm talking about a technical aspect of a program, it's just notional and nothing necessarily proprietary to the company. So just need to give that quick little disclaimer. As you all are probably very aware of our company, I'm sure I'd be very surprised if anybody here has not been on the inside of one of our vehicles in the past. I think everybody's pretty familiar with our commercial aerospace part of the business. It's obviously a very large part of our business, and we make a large number of vehicles. But it's not obvious that we also make a large array of other vehicles, including what you're seeing here, which is an undersea vehicle. We also are in the space business, so we manufacture and build satellites, manned space vehicles, unmanned space vehicles. We build a variety of different military vehicles. We have fighter jets, rotorcraft, helicopters, unmanned military vehicles. We have a unmanned refueler tanker airplane. There's a picture of that later here in the slideshow. And for the rest of this, I've just got some interesting pictures to look at, and I'm going to leave this running here. But even though every single one of these individual vehicles have a very unique set of capabilities, a very unique customer, a very unique environment that they live in, everything from underwater to outer space, there is a commonality between all of these platforms and products. And that is that they're very complicated and very complex, and that every single one of them requires electronic systems, and that there is a great need to reduce weight, volume, cost, and add capability. And as a lot of our products become more and more optimized, space is a big problem. Weight is a very big problem, especially for pictures like you see here. Every gram counts. So looking at ways that any way that we can reduce our electronics cost in terms of weight and volume is of high importance to the company. So we're looking at something that's typically seen as a consumer electronics technology and trying to turn that into a very high performance technology that we would use in various aerospace applications. Now, obviously, the requirements for aerospace are significantly different and significantly more challenging than what you would see in the consumer electronics industry. We have to see temperatures that are very, very hot and sometimes very, very cold. We have all sorts of vibration and flammability and impact and structural requirements and thermal requirements and electronic requirements that are very, very challenging to meet. So even with all those very difficult, challenging requirements, it is very much possible to get printed electronics to be qualified and certified for these vehicles. And we have done so on a number of them. You're seeing one right now. There's a number of suppliers that are working with us that have produced printed electronics parts that are flying in commercial vehicles. We've got products that are flying in space. We've got all sorts of different platforms that have printed electronics within them to, again, either meet requirements that In some cases, print electronics were the only technology that could meet the requirements. There was no other existing capability out there. So we're very much interested in this space. We've got several teams across the United States that are looking at these technologies and developing different aspects of them. And I'm always open to hearing new suppliers, new materials, new capabilities, new technologies that are out there that will help us to produce more new and exciting products like what you're seeing here, which is a fully unmanned refueling vehicle. So with that, if there's any questions or if you'd like to contact me, feel free to reach out to me through email, give me a phone call. And yeah, that's my presentation.
Thank you so much. So, Jeff, I mean, you mentioned that, we don't ask questions, but I want to ask you a question, if you don't mind. As you mentioned that some products had been qualified and are flying. Is it possible to give one example?
Unfortunately, it's not. The examples that I could give are proprietary to their customers. There might be suppliers here on the phone that might be able to talk about that, but I'm not allowed to talk about other companies' products, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But there's definitely products that are flying on some of our commercial airplanes that have printed electronics in them. So unfortunately, I can't get into details about that. I apologize.
Great. I guess if the audience wants to connect with Jeff, he shared his email. If you missed that, contact us and we'll put you in touch. And Jeff, if you stay around, I think we'll soon go to a networking round. And people, if you want to find Jeff, you can just click on his name and you land right next to him.
I'll try to do that. It's a bit of a busy day, but I'll see if I can stick around for a bit.
Yeah. Great. Thanks a lot. So thanks for joining, Jeff.